Chuck is such a great guy. It's a no-brainer saying everything great about him because he's remarkable. He's kind, he's gentle, he's thoughtful, he's an amazing listener, and he's so passionate about the community.
Whether you know Chuck professionally in all of his many endeavors, or if you know Chuck as a friend, I'll say he brings calm to chaos, wisdom to decisions, and complete heart to every endeavor.
I'm one of 9 children, grew up in Edgewood, Kentucky. My mother and my dad both instilled in us the idea of doing the right thing and helping others where you can. My wife and I weren't blessed with children, so my wife got involved with an organization, Covington Partners, and they had a mentoring program for Holmes High School. So she began mentoring a young girl. I ended up mentoring her younger brother, and both remained in our lives. They have a tagline, mentor one student and change 2 lives, and it's truly been part of the story.
I knew him through his many years as an executive in the insurance industry at Union Central, and even back in his early days in public accounting with PricewaterhouseCoopers.
I think it was in November of '99 at Great American. Craig Lindner asked me to take over as Chief Operating Officer. I was in that role until late 2010.
I was always impressed by his incredible business savvy, his ability to use data and analytics in such simplistic ways.
When I was 39 years old, I felt a lump on my neck, and within a matter of weeks had found out that I had stage 4 cancer.
Unfortunately, it was a very aggressive cancer that he had to travel to Boston and have very, very extensive set of procedures, including a bone marrow transplant that ultimately resulted in a cure.
You know, I wouldn't be here without Julie and Dr. Nadler.
How can you not look at the grace that he showed us and the courage through his cancer and now being involved with the formation and the chairmanship of Bexion Pharmaceuticals?
Because of my cancer experience and journey, I've always been intrigued by cancer research, and my cousin was working for this startup company. The drug had been discovered at Children's Hospital, and the fellow who founded the company, Dr. Ray Takegiku, they had just moved the operations to Kentucky, and the state was willing to invest $400,000 if they could raise $400,000 as a matching fund. And so I decided to invest, and I made 4 phone calls. And out of those 4 phone calls, we ended up raising about $2.5 million. So it helped get this company launched. So I became chairman of the board at that time.
The fact that the people here in the community have largely driven its success, is really, really remarkable. A drug is going to be discovered in that building that ultimately is going to cure cancer. His vision, his passion, and his pursuit of the things he and Julie believe in, I think they will be impactful here in the region for decades and generations.
Bexion was in a space that was an incubator for life science companies. It kind of grew into that. But there was no more incubator space available. I said, if we had an incubator, we could help encourage scientists and individual entrepreneurs to take their ideas, like Bexion did, to get it to where it could actually go into the clinic. And so that kind of began the conversation. We ended up with $10 million in Governor Beshear's budget. It ultimately grew with the help of Senator Chris McDaniel to $15 million, and that's really what got the wet lab started. Our hope is that Covington will become a hub for life sciences. So in 1999, the mayor of Covington at the time asked me to lead a commission to review the city operations.
He was asked to be in charge of a 20-person commission to see if they could change and help with the operations and the financial dilemma that Covington found itself at the time. And it became known as the Scheper Report.
We reviewed all aspects of the city, came up with 90 recommendations, $5 million a year of savings. And I remember they gave us a clock to thank us for our efforts, and then essentially ignored the report for the next 10 years.
Fast forward 13 years later, he was asked to be the accidental mayor. Now that's Chuck's phrase.
The city literally was facing bankruptcy, and the mayor decided to retire or resign. And because of the Scheper report, the other commissioners asked me if I would take over to fulfill the remaining 14 months of his term. And that's how I got involved with becoming the accidental mayor of Covington.
He probably is the ultimate politician that our forefathers thought about when they founded the country and the Constitution, of somebody who went in, did it for a short period of time, was not looking to get reelected, and was looking to do what was best. Chuck had the vision to do some things that probably weren't thought of before or were thought to be impossible. And he, certainly reversed the fortunes of the city and the area. Chuck is the same stable person, whether the times are great or terrible. You never would know that by how he leads an organization. You never would know that by how he interacts with people or how he prioritizes things. It's one of those things where it takes a village, but the village has to have a leader, and I'd say Chuck has always been that leader.
One of Chuck's most inspiring philosophies of his life is the concept of rewirement. And that's that in our second acts, we have the opportunity to grow, to empower others, to change, and to dream, and it does not diminish with age. In fact, it expands.
The award that Chuck is receiving, is very deserved because of not just what he's accomplished so far, but the impact of what we'll have in the future.
Chuck, thank you. Your story encourages us to dream so boldly and serve humbly and always ask why not.
I can't think of anybody who is more worthy of this award. Chuck, you epitomize what this award is all about, and I'm thrilled that they chose to honor you this year.
I made a promise to myself after or during the cancer process that I want to be able to look back 5 years and not change anything. So in many respects, it gave me the freedom to do what is right and just always want to be making a difference.